Right, hello everybody and welcome back to a brand new lesson. And today we're down at the driving range, we're at Trafford Golf Centre, and we're going to be talking about, are you a bad range player or are you a good range player? So let's get stuck into this lesson right now and find out what I'm talking about. So I would imagine we've all been down to the driving range before, or to the practice ground, chipping green, whatever it may be. But I'm basing this scenario on coming down to either the practice tee or the driving range. And what we would see, obviously I coach here, so I see a lot of golfers coming through, and I've started to notice a lot of bad golfers or bad practices versus a lot of good golfers or good practices. So we're going to go through three things today that you fall into the bad camp or do you fall into the good camp. Hopefully, if we can notice that we're in that bad camp, we can switch over, get into the good camp and see that those swings that you're making, those good contacts, the good flights of the ball, everything that you do well down at the range, you can actually take over to the golf course. Because I would imagine there's a lot of people watching this video who think or know that they are great on the driving range, but when it comes to crunch time and you've got a card in your hand or you're playing your mates, the golf that you see on the driving range isn't going out onto the golf course. So let's get stuck in right now. Okay, so the number one thing that bad golfers do, they treat the driving range very much like an artillery range. So it's hit, and even as that ball's in mid-flight now, the next one's in, they're taking their setup, and just as it's landing, the next swing is already taking place. And you would get a bucket of, let's say, 100 of golf balls, and where you would see someone like a professional or someone who is a good golfer and doing it correctly, it takes them literally maybe 20 minutes to get through those 100 balls, because all they're doing is just hitting instead of actually having a purpose behind the golf ball. They're just putting the ball in, dragging it, not even looking what the outcome of the shot is. They don't select a specific target. They're literally just hit, drag, hit, well that was okay, drag it in, and then just go again. And not one of those there, if you asked me to tell you where those 10 balls or so that I've just hit, I couldn't tell you where they've finished, because by the time they're landing, I'm already scooping my next ball in and getting ready to whack. As opposed to the good golfer, number one thing a good golfer does, actually saves the time. They might actually hit less golf balls. It's more quality over quantity. Just because you've hit 100 balls, if 100 balls have no purpose, it doesn't really matter. So when a good golfer is practicing, they have some selection. They maybe go through different clubs in their bag. They'll hit maybe a couple with a 7-iron, then they'll go up to driver, switch it down to wedge, and each ball they're actually taking the time on. They go through the routine and try and actually make the shot that they're about to hit feel a bit like what they would feel when they're out on the golf course. So they go through a routine, they pick a target. I've got my white flag in the distance up here. I've got my intermediate target. Go through my routine, have my waggle. Okay, and they're watching the ball down, seeing where it lands a little bit left of that one. So on the next one, I know that I've got to just watch my face because it was a little bit close there. So they're learning from each shot that they hit. They're not just in, whack, drag, whack, drag, whack. Each shot has a little bit of learning behind it as they go through. And that's better, a lot closer to my target now. Okay, so the second thing that all bad golfers do, they might actually pick a target out on the driving range. Here, I've got a set of golf posts that I'm going to try and chip through, and they'll go through it, but there's never any consequence to what they do. There's always, you know, more balls in the basket here. So even if I'm hitting it, oh, I didn't get it near my target, doesn't matter, I'll try again. I've got another ball. Here we go, line back up, try and go at my target. That was closer. Oh well, doesn't really matter. Let's go again. And there's never actually any takeaway from the shot that we're getting. If we can try and simulate pressure that we would feel on the golf course, i.e. hitting into the 18th green of the in the medal on a Saturday when we're 3 under our handicap and we need to hit on to the green and 2 putt to shoot our best ever score, we would feel nervous, I would presume. So we've got to try and almost emulate the pressure that we would feel in that situation. So a good golfer will maybe set out some little tests from themselves, as opposed to the bad golfer hitting with no penalty or no pressure. So we've got the bad golfer who has no pressure, as well the good golfer try and simulates the pressure, simulates the feel of the golf course and the situation they're about to face. So I've got 5 golf balls now. I've got a set of goal posts out here. Yeah, yellow flag up there. I'm going to hit some cuts into this, and I need to have 3 of these balls land on the green to pass my test. Otherwise, it's a fail, and I know that next time when I come down, I've got to try and do better. So pick my target. Feeling a little bit nervous already. So there, I've not passed my test. I've only got 1 out of the 4 balls on, so it shows me that I now need to get to work on my iron swing, get working on my technique, as where if I didn't really test myself, I didn't really have any consequences, so it doesn't matter, I'll just go to the golf course and hope that everything turns out all right, as where now I know I need to work on my face control because it was a little bit erratic there. So good golfers, they're always testing themselves and trying to get some feedback from what they're doing. Let's have a look at the 3rd and final thing that bad golfers do and which good golfers aren't doing. So how many times have you been down at the range and you've walked past one of the bays and you've seen someone with a camera perched up behind them? And they may be doing it for the right reasons, but sometimes when I see people in the positions almost they're putting it on, and then you see them later maybe making a social media post and hashtag grinding, hashtag shallowing it out and all this, you think, probably not what your golf swing needs. So the bad golfer is doing things for show sometimes. We see that they put the camera behind if it's here, and they're trying to get that cool shot. Let's get it up. And they put themselves in, do a few of the moves that we see sometimes that are out there. Then they hit one with no real regard for actually what's happening and what the purpose is of what they're doing. There. Didn't go to plan that one, but did it look all right on the camera? Oh yeah, that looks good. Right, I'll post that. The good golfer isn't doing that. Now, obviously, myself, I put a lot of stuff out there on the internet that is very helpful. I would always suggest that you come down and see me in person to get an actual understanding of what it is you need to do for your golf game, because a good golfer knows what his characteristics are in his golf swing. He might be someone, or she might be someone who has a hook because their grip gets a little bit strong, so they work on that. They also try and actually working on a drill that makes them feel like they're swinging a little bit more out to in. Because of their strong grip in the past, they generally swung a little bit too much from in to out. So the good golfer, when he's down at the range, has purpose for each shot, is doing his drills for a reason. They're not just doing it because they've seen it, oh that looks like a fun drill, I'll try that one. There's calculated reasons for doing those drills. So for myself, I'm trying to actually feel that I'm a little bit more out to in, a little bit wider, and not shutting my face too much to get me a little bit more of a squeezy cut. So I have to feel that I'm passing here a little bit more, as where I could work on getting my shaft shallow. It would look really cool, but there's purpose behind this drill. So I've just hit a few poor ones in my test a moment ago. I know that I've got to get this feeling back on. So I'd get in, have my rehearsals. And there we go, that's the shot we wanted during the test. About 5 foot from the flag, typical. But it is because I had purpose behind what I was doing. I knew what my fix would be if we knew that you know, we needed to get better at something, whether it be if we needed to fix a door at home, we have to put the screws back in, we wouldn't try a newfangled way. If we know what the problem is and we've got a solution to it, we can work towards it instead of just doing things that may look right and think that it's the right thing to do, but get the information you need and work on what is going to benefit your game and your golf swing. And that's 2 in a row right at it. Beautiful. 3 things all bad golfers do and 3 things that good golfers do. Which camp do you fall into, guys? Comment down below. Are you a bad golfer or are you a good golfer? If you're a bad, go through those 3 steps there and we should see that your practice sessions are becoming more quality over quantity, and then you're actually getting more out of it, and you can transfer those good range sessions to good golf out on the golf course. Guys, I hope you've enjoyed this lesson this week. If you have, do remember to hit the like button down below. Also, hit that subscribe button so you don't miss any future lessons. And if you do want to come and see me down at Trafford Golf Centre, all the information's linked below. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next lesson.